Hey, we're live, guys. We're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my guest is Kevin Vazquez-Reyes. How are you doing? I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
You got it, man. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good, good, good. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience in case they don't know who you are.
Well, hello there, you guys. My name is Kevin, and I'm a full-time reseller. Most of the things that I sell is mostly clothing and shoes, and I have a YouTube channel called Kevin Vazquez-Reyes on YouTube, and I just, document what I be doing, like packaging, sourcing, and then at the end of every month, I do like the best solds of the month. So the top 10 shoes that I sold or top 10 items that I sold, I make a video about it and I tell the profits and all that good stuff.
All right, awesome, awesome. So, yeah, I was watching through some of your videos. I had your buddy Matt on last week, eBay Poshman, and he recommended I have you on. And so I went by and checked out your YouTube channel. And believe it or not, I think you were already following me on Instagram. So I went and followed you
Yeah.
back and subscribed to your channel. So how long have you been reselling now?
So I started reselling last year, late June, I believe, is when I first picked up my first items to resell.
Yeah.
So late June of last year. So almost a full year, but at this point, 11 months.
Okay. And how many items do you currently have listed? Because you sell both on eBay and Amazon. Do you also sell on Poshmark as well, right?
Yeah, I sell on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and then Amazon. So the main big three. And then Amazon, you can't really count it. Like, it's not the same as eBay and Mercari, so I don't count it as that. But yeah, I do sell on Amazon.
Okay, cool. And so your niche is mainly shoes and clothing, and you get a lot of items from like Ross, Marshalls, Burlington Coat Factory. What are some of the places that you like go sourcing at?
Yeah, so those are the main places. So Ross, Burlington, Marshalls, and then because I started selling on Amazon more, a couple months back, around 2 to 3 months ago, or in January around, I think, or February, I started going to the outlets. So like the Nike outlet, the Adidas store, just like the brand, the big brand store names that I can sell on Amazon. I started going to those stores more frequently, and I source a lot there now too.
Okay, now I have a couple questions for you. What got you first started and interested in reselling? Were you like watching YouTube videos one day? Did you have one of your friends or family member that was like, "Hey, man, you can make some extra money reselling"? Like, what got you interested in starting to do reselling?
So nobody actually ever told me about reselling. I was just watching YouTube. I first started like looking at drop shipping videos, like getting into e-commerce. Tried that out, didn't really work out. I wasn't the best at it, so I ran into like YouTube videos with Ryan and Lindsay, some great resellers, as well as Hustler Hacks. I started watching them on YouTube, and I was like, oh wow, what these guys are doing are pretty cool. So and I was like, I should try it out. I had money sitting in the bank, and I just started like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know I haven't had Hustler Hacks on, but I've had Renzi on in the past, and I'm subscribed to both of those YouTube channels. So those are they're nice people for sure. I haven't met Hustler Hacks, but I've met Renzi, well, not like virtual, like online. So I wanted to say hey to Jen's Closet. Gems is in the house. She says, "Hey Jeff, nice to meet you, Kevin." So thanks for coming by and hanging out with us today. If you have questions for our guests, go ahead and drop them in the chat. So I got a bunch of questions for you because I kind of have my niche on eBay, and I kind of usually sell CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, video games, VHS tapes. Like I mainly sell media items, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious when you're selling like shoes and clothing and things like this. Like, let's say, for example, you're at Ross and you see a pair of shoes for 15, 20 bucks. Like what profit margins is it that you're looking for? What are like the name brands that really stick out that you're looking for? And what are the sizes? Because like I just went to Ross the other day, and they had like some I think they were like Nike cleats or something, but they were like size 14, 15. And I was like, I'm not going to pick them up because I know very few people in the world are walking around wearing size 14, 15 shoes, period. And then the odds of those people needing to buy a pair of cleats and then wanting to go on eBay and buy them is even less. So like, should you pick up size 14 shoes or stay away? Like what are some of the strategies here that we need to look at? Go ahead and drop some knowledge on it.
So starting off with the first question that you asked, with the profit margins and all that, I don't typically go off a profit margin, although I go more on return on ROI, return on investment. So with that, I try to go with 40% and above. I don't go anything lower than that. If it's lower, it's probably an item that I like picked up a long time ago that I didn't really know about. And when looking at shoes, the main brands that everybody like that I sell the most or that like I look for is number one is Nike. The second it has to be Adidas, and then the third is probably Under Armour. Those three main shoes I sell the most, but it's mostly Nike. That's the number one, and yeah, that's about it. There are some other brands that sometimes stick out, but that's like very like rare that they do. And with size, yes, I do sometimes pick up like big size 14 shoes, like baseball cleats, because those sell for me, and I know they will sell because I've sold them in the past. So starting out, I did pick up very bad sizes. Like I have a size 18. Like I have like 6 size 18 shoes that probably weren't the best to pick up, and I still have them from last year. They haven't sold yet, but no, like big sizes, it's probably not a good pickup unless you already have a buyer. But going off of that, the main sizes that I look for, it depends on the shoe, honestly, man. So like if you're looking at soccer cleats, you don't want to get huge soccer cleats because soccer players tend to not have big shoes. With baseball, it's different. Sometimes the sizes you can go a little bit bigger because the guy's feet are bigger, I guess. But it just depends. But with like regular sizes, I say stick to size men's size 8 to 12. Oh no, size 8 to 13, and then women's size 7 through 10. That's just going off of based off of like just coming off of the top of my head, but
yeah,
it varies all the time.
Yeah, I heard size 10 is it's a really common size 10, size 8, those 9s, those areas are pretty good. Do you sell women's shoes as well?
Not a lot, because in the stores that I go to, like Ross, Marshalls, the women's section tends to be the worst section. And there's usually never shoes there to resell. I have sold some women's shoes before in the past, but most of the time, it's not very hot. So it's mostly men's shoes that what I sell and pick up.
Yeah, I went by there the other day at Ross, just walked by the women's shoe section just to see if I could find any like running shoes, track shoes, athletic shoes. And I didn't see nothing that really, I just walked by to see, because I was like, maybe I'll come across some Nikes or something. I didn't see nothing that really stuck out to me. So, hey, I wanted to say hey to Flipping It Good. I think I just recently subscribed to your channel, so thanks for coming by. He says, what's up, eBay addicts and Kevin? So if you have questions for our guests, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I asked Kevin if he can use an illustration, if he can give us an example of some of the items that you sell. So could you show us some of these items that you picked up recently?
Yeah, I just want to say what's up, Zero. So Zero is Flipping It Good. Yeah. But here's the first example I want to give you.
I'm going to put you on full screen so we can see you. Go ahead.
All right. These are some baseball cleats that I picked up at Burlington like a couple days ago. These are size 13, so they're pretty big shoes. They were, let me see, I think these were like $18, $18.36 with tax. Recently got an offer for these for $65 on eBay. I have them listed for $80, I think, so I send a counter offer. But those are some baseball cleats. Here we got some Nike football cleats. These are pretty cool looking, zebra colorway.
Yeah.
Those are at Marshalls with the box for $20. I picked up like 11 pairs of those like last week, I think. Those are selling for like around $80 all the way up to $100 on eBay and stuff. And then these are some Nike Dunks women's shoe. These I didn't pick up at the store. I bought them off of Nike.com. They were $100 shoe, but the resale isn't too good on them. Probably profit around like $30 at the most, I think, if I sell them right now. But yeah, that's it just varies on the shoe. But yeah, a lot of cleat pickups the last month, and let's see, as well as like these huge football cleats. Well, they're not huge. The box is huge, but like these Nike football cleats that are Marshalls, these were either $25 or $20. Yeah, $20. Those are selling for like $80. I think even $60, as low as $60 on eBay, because sometimes shoes get to like Marshalls and stuff, and everybody finds the same shoe. So the low ballers, typically sell them for less just to move the product quick, and then people like me, I would say, we hold them until we can sell them for a little bit higher than what they're asking, so we can make a good profit on them.
Right. So I got a couple questions for you. Is it true that if you sell athletic shoes on eBay for over $100, you don't have to pay the eBay fees? Is that correct or not?
That's 100% true. That's one of the reasons I really like eBay, because like with the big sales, like you don't have to worry about the fees with the shoes. Like if you have a $200 sale on a shoe, you don't want to be paying the fees on this. It's going to be pretty hefty, honestly. So with eBay, they don't charge the fee, and that adds like a lot more to the profit margin or to the profit of the shoe.
Right. So let's say, like, for example, those football cleats you just held up, you said they may sell for $80. Would you go ahead and list them for $100 and hold on to them to see if you can get the $100, so that way you didn't have to pay the eBay fees? Or do you just bite the bullet and say, I'm just going to sell them for $80 and pay the fees and go? Like, because you can only sell them for whatever the comps are going for. Like, you can't just ask way more than what they're selling for, right? Like, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. So with those football cleats, I don't even have them listed for 100. You can, like, somebody, if they wait enough, they can probably get 100. If like that's what I used to do. Right now I'm trying to move products a little bit quicker, so I think I have those listed at like $90 or $80. But yes, if you wait long enough, you can probably get like way more than like the comps are, are going for. Like, some people like know it. Sorry. I keep saying know it to flip it, but flipping it good. Zero, he typically prices his items like pretty high, and he waits for them to sell. Like he has offers on, I think. Like sometimes people send him offers, but I'll use him as an example. Like he waits for that type of stuff. Like, he'll wait 8 months to sell a shoe for like $250 that he picked up for like $20 at Ross. But right at the moment, I'm not waiting that long anymore. I typically price at the market value of what they're going on eBay to try to move product a little quicker.
Okay, cool. Let me say hello to your buddy Matt. We were just talking about you. He says, let's go. He says, don't tell him all your money-making secrets. He says, appreciate both of you. Hey, we appreciate you for coming by and hanging out with us today, Matt. We appreciate you. And I wanted to say hey to Jen's Closet Gems. She says, do you only source and sell new shoes, or do you sell used shoes as well? Like, do you go to the thrift store and sell used shoes as well?
Yeah, so I started off sourcing only new shoes, but then I did start going to Goodwill and stuff and buying some used shoes, but a majority of my inventory is new shoes. But yes, I do sell used shoes from Goodwill and like those type of stores.
Okay, cool. I wanted to say hey to Hot Flip Heidi is here. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us today. We're here with our guest, Kevin. So talk to me a little bit, Kevin. Now, you're an actual full-time reseller. What type of tips or tricks or advice would you give somebody if they want to become a full-time reseller? Would you have any advice for them or any suggestions that you would suggest? Like if I'm starting out, because if somebody doesn't have a lot of knowledge on shoes, a lot of these boxes have barcodes and they have tags. You can scan them, the barcodes, and they'll tell you what they're listed for, and you can look up some comps. Do you have some recommendations or some suggestions that you could throw at us?
Yeah, so one of the main things I would say before starting is to, have some sort of capital, or you don't even need capital to start. Like start reselling your own stuff to start with a little bit of something to even gain a little bit more money, and do your research. Like YouTube is like, it will be your best friend when starting out anything. There's so much knowledge on the internet that, people can start doing whatever they really want nowadays, working on it and stuff, earning money doing it. But yeah, I would recommend looking at YouTube and, taking action. Like go into the stores if you have the time, if you have the car, if you have the money, like to go to like Goodwill. If you don't have that much money, go to Goodwill, start looking at the shoes, start looking stuff up. And there's a point in time where you've already looked at enough YouTube and done enough research where you need to go out and actually start taking action. And that's what I just some advice I would give people, like if they want to start anything, do your research and then don't do too much research. Like actually go out, take action, and do some stuff.
Okay, now, what do you do with some shoes that, let's say you had some shoes and you bought them, and let's say you paid $20 for these shoes. Let's say they're, baseball cleats or football cleats or whatever, and they're not selling and you want to move them, and you've been sitting on them for a while. Do you like liquidate them? Do you put them on sale to try to sell them quicker, or do you just hang on to them and just wait to get a full price? Like, what do you try to do? Because I'm just curious, because you can't have too much money just tied up in merchandise that's just sitting there, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I'll give you an example of, I have like a lot of cleats last year that I picked up when I first started reselling that were like $3, $5. I picked up like 20 pairs, probably even more than that are sitting in my basement right now as we speak in my inventory. They haven't moved, they haven't sold. In that case in point, I honestly don't care if they don't even move or sell. Like I have them priced at like $30 or something, like, and they're not even moving at that point. So that was just a mistake on my end. But with items that are typically like more expensive, I'll wait those out all day. And even with that, like with those, like those $5 cleats that I have, still, I'm waiting those out. So I typically don't do like try to move inventory after a certain amount of time. I know some people do that. I don't do that. But yeah, if I have like I said, I have shoes that I still haven't sold from the first time I went sourcing, so I don't really do that stuff.
I was just wondering because I'm sure some of these are going to be seasonal. Like you said, you have baseball shoes, maybe track shoes, football cleats. Some of these are going to be seasonal. Once football season's over, maybe now they're looking for basketball shoes. They're not looking for football cleats. So you still sell some like around Christmas time for next year, or do you just keep them listed and just wait until they sell, or how does that work?
Yeah, so typically with eBay and stuff, this isn't probably like one of the best things to do, but it's just what I do. Like I don't run sales, or like after I list something, I just leave it there, honestly. That's why now I'm telling you, I'm pricing more reasonably at the market value of the shoes, because once I leave it there, I'm most likely not gonna come back and change the price. I'm not gonna be researching the shoe again and like, oh, I priced this too high. Let me price it a little bit lower. I just list and leave it alone. That's probably not the best idea, but that's just what I do. And with stuff like that's just what I do.
Okay, cool. We got a quick question here from Hot Flip Heidi. She wants to know, do you sell more women's shoes or men's shoes?
I sell more men's shoes. Women's shoes, like I said, at the stores that I go to aren't too good or hot. Like basically trash sections. Like the women's section is trash for shoes and stuff. So
yeah, I was watching one of your videos recently, and you had some shoes in your hand and you're ready to check out. And you're like, oh, no, this line is too long. I'm not waiting a half hour in this line to check out. Because I'm the same way. Sometimes I'll have an item in my hand that I picked up at the thrift store, and I want to check out. And I'm looking at how long this line is. And I'm like, do I really want to stand in line for 20 or 30 minutes just to check out to buy one or two items? And you're sitting here thinking about it, because you don't want to leave the store empty-handed, but you don't want to wait in a super long line as well. So I definitely can relate. I think we've all been there where you're like looking at this line and you're like, do I really want to buy these? Like, are they really that important?
Sometimes it's not even worth it.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that. So I wanted to say hello to Death Pile Destroyers. Esteban is here in the house. We got Flipping It Good. He says, I don't hold on to all shoes, only certain and elite C's. And he says elite soccer cleats. Yeah, man, I'm kind of new to the shoe game. That's why I'm asking you a bunch of questions. So when you're looking at these shoes, because I saw you bought like maybe 7 or 8 pair of a certain pair of shoes. So how do you decide when you want to pull the trigger on a certain pair of shoes? Like when you're looking at it, what is like the determining factor? Because you're looking at sold comps, you're looking at the price that it's listed, and you're looking at the price that it's selling for. But how do you determine, and if you're like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and buy 7 or 8 pair of these shoes instead of just buying one and taking them home and trying them out and see how they sell? Like, do you do that strategy, or do you just like, hey, I'm going to clear the rack and grab all of them while I'm here? Like, what do you look at?
So with like that example that you gave me, I typically don't do like sometimes like grab the whole 8 shoes. A lot of times if I do, it's because I know that shoe is valuable and I know I can get a good amount of money for it. Even like I wouldn't care how long I have it, or actually I do, but I wouldn't care like if it takes a couple of months to sell because I know I'm gonna get a good amount of money from that. Like with those elite soccer cleats, the retail on them is $250. They were at Marshall's for $25. You know, that's a no-brainer. Like, you don't even gotta look it up or anything. Like, once you know, you know. So it's like that with a lot of shoes because I follow a lot of people on Instagram and I see what they're finding. A lot of times you get an idea of what you need to be on the lookout for. And yeah, like I said, with the high retail shoes, like sometimes I don't even look them up. I just take all of them. Sometimes the sizes are kind of bad. And even then I still take them and just hope to move them. But
okay,
yeah.
So do you scan all the barcodes when you're in the section, or do you just only the ones that really stand out to you? Like when you're like those other ones you had earlier, and they were like Nike cleats, and they had like the little zebra colorways. Do you just get the ones that really stand out to you that you're like, hey, these look really cool? Like, how do you determine which ones that you want to scan and look up?
Yeah, so exactly. So I'm in the store so frequently, and once you're in enough stores, you already know what they have, or like, you go to the same store every other day, every day. You know what you need to pass. Like they have like bad kid soccer cleats that they have at my Marshalls that I always pass. But yeah, it's basically a lot of what stands out or that's new, because a lot of shoes that are at the stores, most of the times if they're still there, they've been like, if they're there with like all the shoe sizes and like the shoe boxes, nobody's been buying them. So Marshalls is just gonna get rid of the box and put them on the shelves on clearance. But with like those zebra cleats, I know there were some resellers around my area that were picking them up. So I was just hitting up Marshalls hoping to find those, and I got lucky basically, and I found those, and I know they're selling for good money because, like I said, I look at the retail price a lot. Although retail price doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna sell for that price. High retail is pretty good because at Marshalls, like with the cleats, they're usually only like $25 and they're pretty cheap. So if you come across like 11 pairs of those, you're just not gonna grab one pair and be like, I'm gonna grab these. I can probably get $100 for them, and I'm gonna leave the rest, unless you don't have the money. But nah, if it's like a case like that, I take all the shoes.
Yeah, well, I was just wondering if it's better to just go and kind of test the market and say, I'm just going to buy these 1 pair of shoes, go home and list them and see if they sell or not. And then if they sell, you can come back and buy more of them, but they may be gone the next time you come back, right?
Yeah, there's so much competition here in my area that no, they're not gonna be there whatsoever.
Okay. Cool. So what do you do when the market's flooded? Like, what do you do? Like, maybe at the time you look a pair of shoes up, and for that certain size and name brand and colorway, maybe there's only 5 listed, but they just dropped at Ross or Marshalls, and everybody in your area is going to be picking them up. So do you try to be, because you either have to have the strategy where you're the first person out that listed them and sells them, or do you just hang on to them and try to get the profit? Like, what do you do when you're like worried about the market being flooded over a certain item? Because, like, for example, I'll go to the Dollar Tree and buy Blu-rays for $1 and resell them on eBay. But sometimes there's people that flood the market and they'll get the same item that I have and they'll sell theirs for $5.99 free shipping. And I know the shipping is going to be at least $3. And I know you got at least $1 tied up in the item. So I can't turn $1 into $2. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But if the market's flooded, I'll just wait for the other guys to sell out. And then when they sell out, then mine usually sells for full asking price. So what do you do when like the market's flooded and you see maybe a good pair of golf cleats or soccer cleats or something like that, but you're like worried the market's going to be flooded? What do you do in that case?
Yeah, exactly. So exactly what you said, you got to wait out the low ballers. Those people they're gonna sell out eventually. It could take a couple of months. But with like, I'll give you the example with the elite soccer cleats that, like I said, they were retail for $250. Matt showed you a pair of shoes that he picked up. I think they were like the black and not the black, the white and pink ones. Those are flooded. I think they're still flooded right now. People are letting them go for $80 all the way. Like I think the lowest they're letting them go is for like $60 or $80, and those shoes retail for $250. You know, maybe those people need the capital, like to they want to sell them quick. If you price it at $60, they're gonna sell probably fairly quickly because those shoes are very expensive, like retail wise. But yeah, some people don't like waiting, but with this reselling stuff, like there's a lot of times where there's floods, and you have a really great shoe, like an elite, and you're like, do I really want to sell this for $80 when I know I can get like $150 for it if I wait a couple of months? And
Right.
you just gotta make up your mind at that point. And most of the times I wait it out.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. So I think because you may do everything right, you may do all your research, you may look at all the sold comps, everything may look legit on your end, but then if 100 other people are grabbing them and the market's flooded, you have to wait them out. Like because I saw your video where you had sold a pair of shoes within 2 weeks, but sometimes you might have to hang on to them because you have to wait because the market fluctuates. You have to wait them out for the market to stabilize. Like, for example, I'll pick up some Blu-rays at the Dollar Tree and maybe I'll sell mine for $11.99 plus shipping. Well, the guy that's selling his for $5.99 free shipping, he's going to sell out first. And once he sells out, then I'm going to get mine for full asking price. So what you're doing is pretty similar where you're like, hey, I bought all these shoes up. I know they're going to sell eventually, and I know I'm going to get retail price, but I just have to wait for the market to kind of balance it out because eventually the other guys are going to get sold out and then they're going to come to you, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Let me say hello. I don't know if I haven't seen you before in the chat. Menu7, thanks for coming by and hanging out. He says Owe is on the move. And we have Jen's Closet Gems is here. It says, have you ever had a time where a YouTube or Instagrammer led you with a wrong decision on a bad buy? So is there anybody that you've watched on YouTube or Instagram and you thought, man, these are a good deal, and then you got home and they were a bust? Like, has that happened to you?
Not really, because a lot of times when you're following all these pages, they show what they're finding at the store. They don't tell you, oh, I picked these up and I left these. They're just showing you what they find. Like sometimes they find a pretty cool pair of like golf cleats. Like yesterday, me and another reseller, we ran into each other and we were at the same store.
Yeah.
And, we're friends, so we were just looking around together. And he ended up finding some golf cleats that were like, they look really, really cool. Like, I'm like, wow, these have to be selling for a lot. And I've seen a whole lot of pictures on Instagram of people like posting them that they found them at their store. They're only $25. But once you actually look up the shoe, they're only selling for like $60. When I'm like, wow, I thought these were selling for like $100 plus or something, just off of like, the colorway, which is like really unique looking shoe, and the amount of times I've seen people picking them up on Instagram. But now once you see a shoe, you look it up, actually look at the market and see how it's doing. Whether or not you'd pick it up or not. I necessarily don't look at like the shoes on my feed that people are finding. I'm like, oh, let me go find this, and when I go to the store, I just don't pick it up and then go check out. Like I do my research. I look up the shoe. I don't go off of like what other people say a lot of times, because they may have different strategies and like different business.
So what Kevin's saying is you got to do your own homework, because what the guy on Instagram may tell you these shoes sell for $120, but by the time you get there, due to supply and demand, maybe somebody tanked the market and maybe now they only sell for $60. You don't want to pick up a pair of shoes for $25 and sell them for $60, right? There's not going to be enough margin there for you. So exactly. I have a quick question for you. When you go to the Nike outlet or the Reebok store, what is it that you look for? And is it true that you can get discounts? Like, do they have clearance days? Do they have like buy one, get one half price? Do they have like coupons? Tell me how this works, because I've never been. So when you go to the Nike outlet, what is it that you're looking for? And do you get discounts? Do they say, hey, you're only allowed to buy 5 pairs of this certain pair of shoes. Tell us what it's like there at the Nike outlet if no one's ever been before.
So at the Nike outlet specifically, when I was looking to resell the shoes on eBay and stuff, I would go to the back wall because a lot of times the back wall is discounted. But these last, I would say, like couple of months, they haven't had a discount at all. So I really haven't even been looking at the shoes on the back wall at Nike. At Nike, what I mostly source is like clothing, and sometimes I do shoes if they're cheap enough. Because when I go to the Nike outlet, it's mostly to source for Amazon, and for Amazon, it's mostly clothing that's on discount. It is a pretty good deal for me. So I mostly go look at the clothes. And yes, you can get discounts on Nike. Like, for example, you can buy actually a birthday code. Like Nike gives out 20% off codes when it's your birthday. So what people do is they make accounts and then they wait for that account to they put the birthday of that account and then they wait for it to be their birthday. And then they sell it to people. I would go to the store, I would buy the code, and then ball out, buy $800 worth of items, and then apply that discount code, and then it will go down to $600 or something like that. It's just very useful. But Nike caught on to that very recently. They lowered it from 20% to 10%, which is not even worth it at this point anymore. So, but yeah, a lot of the times from Nike at the back wall, they used to be discounted, but now it's not really discounted. They haven't had a sale in a long time. So at the Nike outlet, I just source clothes mostly for Amazon and stuff.
Okay, I was just wondering because I heard they had yellow tag and then they had red tag on certain shoes. I was just asking because I think I saw Reezy Resells was there not too long ago when he bought up a bunch of shoes in the Nike outlet, and I have never been, so I was just curious. So
I wanted to say, tags, I have no idea.
I was just curious because but you're in Georgia and he's all the way in California, so it may be completely different there. So it may be different. I wanted to say hey to Hyphen Gold. Thanks for stopping by today. We got a quick question from eBliss Reseller Solutions. They want to know how many sales per week do you do? Thanks. So he sells on eBay, Amazon. You also sell on Poshmark and Mercari. So because you're a full-time reseller, how many sales would you think you would do in an average week?
So I mostly sell on Amazon at this point. I get most of my sales from there. On eBay and stuff, it's my second. I probably do a little bit less than half of my income on that. But on Amazon, it's probably average around on everything. I said it's probably an average of 250 a month, 250 items a month. A week on the weekly basis, I have no idea. Sometimes it could be very bad on eBay, but sometimes, but a lot of times Amazon, picks up the slack for it. So that's why I started to go way more in on Amazon, and typically around 200 to 250 sales a month, I would say.
Okay, cool. We have a Hollywood Resellers in the house. He wants to know what other type of items do you sell? You said that you mainly sell shoes and clothing, but you want to tell them what other type of items that you sell? You sell a lot of athletic shoes, football cleats, soccer cleats, golf cleats. You sell athletic shirts, jerseys, pants, things like that, right? I actually asked Kevin to bring some of the items with him on the show. You want to hold up and show him some of the items that you sell? Because Kevin actually has some items on him that I asked him to bring with him to a show and tell. So those are some football cleats that you picked up. Yeah, and how much did you pay for those?
Cleats. These were $17 at Burlington. I can probably get 70 or even up to 80 for these. And they sell pretty quick. I got an offer yesterday for $65 on these, so that's pretty good. And then I got these Vapor Speed 360s. I think that's what they're called. These were $20 at Marshall's, and these are selling from $80 all the way up to $100 on eBay. And then I basically only pick up what's the market has, or what the stores have out. And during these last few few couple of months, they've been really hot with like the cleats and stuff. Like these are like $20 at Marshalls. I mean $25 at Marshalls. Selling for around $80 as well. But
so you try to find items at discount stores like Ross, Marshalls, Burlington Coal Factory. Do you have JT Maxx where you're at or no?
TJ Maxx, yeah, but a lot of times TJ Maxx doesn't even have like they don't have shoe boxes, so they just have the shoes on the shelf, and a lot of times it's just women's shoes. So like I said, women's shoes aren't too hot. Most of the times they're kind of trash. So I don't even bother going in anymore to TJ Maxx.
So what Kevin's looking for is shoes that he could get on a discount for 10, 15, 20 bucks. I seen you pick up some cleats a while back for $10. So sometimes you get lucky and find them. And so you're finding them on a discount. Maybe you pay $20 and then maybe your average sell price is like $80 or $100. Like what would be your typical flip that you would sell? And go ahead.
So it's typically not like something that I look at like for the price and stuff, but usually with like those baseball cleats that I pick up for cheap, they sell from $60 all the way up to $100.
Okay, cool. I wanted to say hey to Cali Reseller Louise is in the chat. I was actually on with Cali Reseller Louise yesterday. If you guys didn't get a chance to check it out, you could stop by and check it out. He says, hey, Jeff, Kevin, and everyone. Hyphen Gold wants to know, do you have a weekly net goal or a monthly goal of how many items you want to list, or do you have a certain goal of how many items you want to sell every month? Like, do you have a board that you track your items and say, hey, I need to make $3,000 this month profit, or how does that work?
No, I really don't look at all that stuff. I just kind of go with the flow. Like if, my eBay store is doing trash, I mean, I'm just like, what? I really can't do much. I mean, I can't list to try to get, a little bit more traction and stuff. But if I don't have stuff to list, what can I do? Run a sale and stuff. Like, yeah, that's good and all. But no, I really don't have a weekly net goal or anything. It's just like every month I always try to, do a little bit more, like profit wise, like total every month. And it's been increasing every month for me. So I must be doing something right. Although,
yeah.
So I really don't have a goal or anything, just keep going and keep doing what I need to do to keep going.
Okay, cool. We have a quick question in the chat. It says, what is your customer return rate on Amazon? Do you get a lot of returns? Explain how that works.
Man, Amazon is crazy with the returns. So typically on eBay and, Poshmark, Mercari, you don't really get a lot of returns. I would say my return rate on those platforms, just eBay, I would say. I don't get returns on Mercari or Poshmark. On eBay, it's like 2 to 3% return rate. And on Amazon, it's probably around 10%. So yesterday I got hit with like seven returns, and it totaled out to like $600 in returns, which is crazy. But that's just a part of the business. I used to kind of be upset when I got returns, but because Amazon is my main sales channel, like and you can return anything on Amazon for whatever reason. I'm kind of getting used to it, and I really don't mind them anymore because I honestly don't pay that much for the items that I send in. So even if the customer sends in like a faulty item, or like, they messed up the box, they wore them once, and I can't sell them again, I really don't trip because I only paid an upwards of $30 all the way. The most that I probably paid for that pair of shoes, that piece of clothing, is $30. So if I ever do get it sent back and it's bad, I get it sent back to me, and I can either choose to resell it again or keep it or trash it or give it away, do whatever I need to do with it.
Okay, cool. We have, I wanted to say hey to Cali Reseller Louise. He says his ROI on cleats is really good. I wanted to say hey to the ATL Flipper is in the chat. He says, hello, everybody, and what's up, Kevin? Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Hyphen Gold says, make a goal. It's going to push you to go hard and make bank. We have a quick question that says, do you reprice manually or do you use a service? So do you reprice your shoes on Amazon, or how does that work?
Well, I'm looking to start using a service because at this point I really can't do it manually. It's just too much. So right now I am doing it manually, but I am looking to get into using a service.
So guys, if you guys don't know, I talked to Kevin backstage before we went live. Kevin is a young guy. Tell him how old you are, Kevin.
I'm 20.
Yeah, so I mean, I could tell the way that you talked and like the way that your lingo was that you were like, because I'm 37, so I'm like an old man to you young guys that are resellers. So you're only a 20-year-old guy. So tell me, man, what kind of goals or aspirations do you have for yourself in the future? Because you're a 20-year-old kid, right, or 20-year-old adult, and what kind of plans do you see for yourself? Let's say in the next 5 years from now. Because if I could call you up and say, hey, you know what, Kevin, you're 25 years old now. You've been in the resale game for 5-6 years. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Like, are you going to still do reselling? Like, what is it that you want to do? Like, as far as like in the future, what are you thinking?
I definitely do plan on continuing to resell. I think one of the goals is like probably do $1 million in sales by then. Move out and have a YouTube channel as well. Well, I already have one, but have a grown, probably developed better YouTube channel. And that's it, man. Growing up, just getting a wife, having kids. I don't know.
You don't know,
but just growing as a person and building the business, whether it be on Amazon, and the resale business and the YouTube channel is what I'm really focusing on right now.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel.
Yeah. So I started uploading seriously around 2 months ago, or probably 2 or 3 months ago. I honestly don't remember. When I first started reselling, I was making YouTube videos because I've been doing YouTube since like 6 years ago. Like I started with a gaming channel, and I just uploaded gaming videos of me and my friends playing like Destiny, video games and stuff like that. And then I stopped, and then I went through the little phases of like seeing what kind of videos I want to make, and then last year I started reselling, and I wasn't uploading consistently. I still made some videos here and there, like the first time that I got a huge haul of shoes, I made a video and uploaded it to my channel. Did my best flip. I made a video about that, but it's not until last month where I started seriously uploading sourcing videos, just me packaging items, as well as like I said in the beginning of this live stream, like my best sales of the month.
Yeah, I like Kevin's videos because he goes sourcing and he'll tell you like, hey, this was trash, this one's junk, stay away from this pile right here, this one's gold. And sometimes you can see it. You can see like the colorway, you can see the designs, and you're like, oh, these are going to sell quick. And other ones, you're just like, nah, we're going to stay away from those. So tell them where they can look you up and check you out on YouTube and Instagram so they can come by and look you up and check you out.
Yeah, so my YouTube is Kevin Vazquez-Reyes, as you guys can see right here. That's how you spell it. I know it's a little bit tricky for some people, but that's my YouTube channel. My Instagram is KVAZQR, and I just upload. Sometimes I upload shoes, and I ask people did I cop or not, and just documenting my journey on my Instagram, mainly through the Instagram stories. On my YouTube feed, I upload video previews, and that's about it.
Yeah, I have all his links down below if you want to go by and check them out. You can learn way more about, shopping and flipping items from Ross and Marshall's, way more than I can show you. So he can tell you everything about it. So, hey, man, before we let you go, I got to ask you about the whole deal about selling on Amazon, because right now I'm only on eBay. So explain this whole process. If no one has sold before on Amazon and they want to learn, how does this process go from you buying shoes, let's say off the rack at Ross? Let's say you paid $20 for these pair of football cleats, and maybe they sell on Amazon for $80 or $100. How does that explain that whole process? How that works? Do you have to get ungated in these categories? Like, talk a little bit about that. How does that work?
Yeah, so Amazon is a whole different other beast. Honestly, it's a little bit like eBay, but at the same time, not at all. It's like not the same as any other platform. It's a little bit more complicated. But anybody can do it if they really wanted to. First, you have to open an Amazon seller account. Before, I heard it was well, when I did it, you know, it was pretty easy. I just, you know, put in the info they asked me, and I was like, boom, you know, you can start. If you want, start selling. Well, at first you can't sell anything you want, but you can start selling whatever you can sell. You know what I mean? But now I heard there's like a process or something where you got to wait to get approved, because I'm pretty sure there's been an influx of people starting to resell on Amazon and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so with like shoes and stuff, like with the main brands, you do have to get ungated. You have to find a distributor, like a company that sells that, and then you buy 10 units of that item, and then you show Amazon like, hey, look, I bought it from this person. It's legit and everything. And then they're like, okay, you can start selling Nike because you got it at this distributor or whatever. And then that's basically a whole lot of process. There's also categories that you have to do, like toys. If you want to start selling toys, that's a whole category. And then with the toys, there's like individual brands that you have to get ungated in, that you have to, you know, find, again, a distributor, and then buy stuff, get the invoice, and submit it into Amazon. So, you know, it's a whole process. But if you do like want to start selling, like there's a whole bunch of people on Instagram that have ungating guides that you can pay for. And that's all I can say about it.
It's a process, but like, let's say if you get ungated in Nike shoes, do you have to get ungated in Nike jerseys or Nike shorts and Nike backpacks, or you just ungated in everything Nike? Like, how does that work?
Once you're ungated in Nike, you're ungated in everything. Although there's one brand, Adidas, there's two brands separate on Amazon. There's one, the regular Adidas, and then there's another, Adidas Originals. So I don't know why they did that or why that's the case, but for Adidas on Amazon, there's two separate brands, and that kind of sucks. But yeah, with shoes specifically for Amazon, you can't send in shoes without the box. So they all have to have the box. And in order to even look them up, well, like to look them up, you have to like have the barcode. Sometimes I do manually type them in the Amazon search bar, but a lot of times just a whole bunch of stuff comes up, like different colorways, and like sometimes it's a variation. So they could have like 6 colors, and like with those 6 colors comes all the sizes. So if you click on it, it's going to be like 200 items that you have to go through to look for that specific size. So that's why it says like it's good to have the barcode, and you need the box to sell to even, you know, send it into Amazon.
Okay, so you got to have the box, you got to have the barcode, you got to get ungated. But does it seem that some of the prices on Amazon are a little bit higher than it is on eBay and Mercari? And do you have a little bit more traffic on Amazon as well?
Definitely. On Amazon, I sold some Nike Air Max golf shoes that I picked up at Marshall's. They were $30 at Marshall's. Everybody was finding them at Ross without the box, and they were only selling for like $80 on like eBay and stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But like I sold them for $130 on Amazon, and they sold as soon as they got to the warehouse. So it's kind of insane, like how, you know, if a shoe isn't doing good, you know, on eBay, it could be doing great on Amazon. You know, it's kind of crazy. It fluctuates and stuff. So yeah, that's why I like having, like, you know, if I can't sell it on Amazon, I can sell it on eBay. If I can't sell it on eBay, I can sell it on Amazon.
Yeah, and can you talk about the fees that are associated with Amazon in case people don't know? I mean, they have fees just like Poshmark or Mercari or eBay does. But can you talk about the fees on FBA, or do you do merchant fulfilled?
Yeah, I only do FBA. I first started shipping in, not shipping in. When I first started like actually doing some numbers on Amazon, and I was doing merchant fulfilled orders. So I think Amazon takes like an upwards of 30% when they fulfill it, when it's FBA, and that's the only thing I do. I only do FBA. I don't do merchant fulfilled anymore, just because I don't want to deal with like returns, and like customers want a return. A lot of times they want you to pay for the shipping and all that stuff. I'm like, I just send it into FBA, and they take care of it. But it's a hefty fee for FBA, yes. But if you source the correct products and items, shouldn't worry you too much.
All right, cool. I wanted to say hello to a few people on the chat. Death Pile Destroyers is here. Menu V7 says, when I applied to solo on Amazon, it took me 2 weeks to get accepted. I've heard other people saying they have to go through an interview process to get accepted. Yeah, I don't know what may be different. I haven't solo on Amazon. That's why we're asking some questions. Kelly Reseller Louise dropped your YouTube link. He says, I'm your 500 subscriber, Kevin. So,
Let's
hey, you
go.
hit 500 subscribers today on the live
Let's
stream. Let's go, right? The ATL Flipper says, you're doing awesome, bro. Set the goals, though. It will help you get a lot more money. Well, see, Kevin, like I said, he's a young guy. He's only 20 years old. So I'm going to give Kevin a break because, you know, for you, first of all, man, I'm going to give you a pat on the back for actually starting a YouTube channel. Because when I was 20 years old, I was not starting a YouTube channel. I was not reselling. I was not out doing none of that stuff. I was probably out getting in trouble, going 100 miles over the speed limit, getting in trouble, all that. I was not out reselling. I was not out, starting a YouTube channel. So props to you, man, for at least getting that started, man. And Bobby is here. Says, I'm going to watch from the beginning. I respect both of you two guys. Hey, well, thanks for coming by and hanging out. We have new guests on every week. And all his links for YouTube and Instagram is down below. Death Pile Destroyer says 20 years old and already an entrepreneur. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. So, hey, man, can you go ahead and give us your final thoughts, man? Everybody, his links are down below for YouTube and Instagram if you want to go by and check them out, and you might learn something. Because the good thing is when you have a community of people, they'll show you what's hot, what side items they're picking up, what they're selling for, what kind of profit margins they have, so you don't have to go make the same mistakes that he does. So give us your final thoughts, Kevin.
Yeah, man. I don't really have that many. I just, appreciate you for having me on and, having this little chat with these people, answering some questions. And, yeah, if you want something, you got to work for it and you got to do the work.
All right. Hey, Kevin, man, while you're still young and you still have all this energy, bro, and reinvest as much money as you can back in your business, because you don't have a mortgage. You don't have to raise 3 kids. You don't have a $500 a month car payment. Like, you're still a young guy. So as much money as you can, as much capital that you can reinvest back in your business, keep reinvesting it back in your business, man, because in 5 years from now, when you turn out to be 25, 26, 27 years old, it's going to be amazing to you, because you're going to have that snowball effect of so much capital that you reinvested back in your business, and it'll be on autopilot. You'll never have to worry about, working at Burger King or McDonald's or one of those places. You'll be set, bro. So just keep hustling and keep reinvesting as much money as you can, because your expenses are very, very low. You don't have a ton of overhead expenses. So don't go out. I mean, if you got to go out and buy, yourself to watch the movies or go on a vacation or something, that's cool. But take as much capital as you can and kind of feed the beast. Keep reinvesting it back in your business. So that's just what I would say to you. So I wanted to say hey to everybody in the chat. The Cap guy was here. Kelly Reseller Louise. He says, thanks, Kevin, for hopping on today. Death Pile Destroyers, Menu 7, and the ATL Flipper, and Bobby, and anybody else I missed in the chat. Thanks for coming by. I will see you guys on Thursday. I have Thrifty Junker is in the chat, and she's going to tell you guys 9 ways to get merchandise for free to resell on eBay and Amazon to make a profit. So I will see you guys then on Thursday, and I want to thank everybody in the chat and thank our guest Kevin for coming on today. And go follow him. His links are down below in the description on YouTube and Instagram, and hopefully we'll have you back on again sometime, right?
Hopefully, yes, sir.
All right, bro. Well, you guys have a great day. I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.